All right, let's get right into it. Every single day, you're using creams, lotions, makeup, and you probably don't give it a second thought. But behind the scenes, there's a microscopic war going on to keep all those products safe. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that hidden battle happening right in your bathroom cabinet.
I mean, really think about it for a sec. You open a jar of face cream, you dip your fingers in, and you close it back up, day after day. What is actually lurking in that lotion after a few weeks of use? And this isn't just a random question. For the people who make these products, this is a massive safety challenge they have to solve.
And there's a really good reason for that. So many of our favorite products are water-based and just packed with nutrients. Well, that combo makes them a five-star hotel for all sorts of unwanted microbial guests. We're talking bacteria, yeast, and even mold. If these products didn't have a really strong defense system, that jar of cream could pretty much turn into a petri dish. And that could lead to some nasty stuff, like skin infections, eye infections, or it could just ruin the product completely.
So, to make sure your products can fight off these invaders long after you've brought them home, manufacturers use this super rigorous process. In the industry, it's known as the Cosmetic Challenge Test. Honestly, you can just think of it as a scientific boot camp for your beauty products.
Now, to really get this, you gotta know there are two key safety checks. First, there's the microbial limit test. It asks a pretty simple question. Was this product made cleanly back at the factory? It's just a snapshot in time. But the second test, the one we're talking about, the preservative efficacy test, or PET, it asks a much tougher question. Can this product actually defend itself out in the real world after it's been opened and used over and over again?
And here's the most important part. The PET isn't some gentle checkup. No way. It is a deliberate, controlled attack. Scientists literally take the product and contaminate it on purpose with a specific cocktail of microbes, just to see if its preservative system can fight back and win. It's a planned battle, designed to prove that a product is tough enough for your daily routine.
So who are the opponents in this fight? Well, the regulations are super specific about this. Manufacturers can't just throw any old bacteria in there. They have to use a standardized team of 5 very specific microbial challengers. So, let's meet the lineup.
And here they are, the unwanted guests. The team's got 3 types of bacteria you've probably heard of: E. coli, Pseudomonas, and Staphylococcus. And they're joined by one type of yeast, Candida albicans, and one type of mold, Aspergillus brasiliensis. This exact group is chosen because, well, they represent the most common and toughest little critters a cosmetic product is probably going to face out in the wild.
Right. So once the product meets its challengers, the battle isn't over in a day. The whole test is a month-long marathon. It's a 28-day observation period to see if that preservative system has what it takes to really go the distance.
So here's the play-by-play of how this 28-day test goes down. On day 0, that's when the contamination happens in the lab. They call this inoculation. Then, you have these key checkpoints. On day 7 and again on day 14, scientists take a little sample and literally count any microbes that survived. But the final, make-or-break count happens on day 28. The product's entire fate really hangs on those final numbers.
Okay, so after 28 days of fighting, how do we actually know if the product passed? It's not just about surviving, it's about total annihilation. To figure out if it's a victory, scientists use a very specific and pretty cool measurement.
The metric they use is called log reduction. It sounds a little technical, I know, but it's just a really powerful way to measure a huge decrease. So a 1 log reduction means 90% of the microbes are gone. A 2 log reduction is 99%. And a 3 log reduction, which is the gold standard for bacteria, means a mind-boggling 99.9% of the initial invaders have been completely wiped out.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. For a product to get a passing grade, an A, its preservative system has to be incredibly good at its job. By day 7, it has to hit that 3 log reduction. That's a 99.9% kill rate for all the bacteria. For yeast, it needs a 1 log reduction, or 90%. Then, after that initial beatdown, the number of survivors can't increase for the rest of the test. Mold is a little tougher, so it gets until day 28 to show that 1 log reduction. I mean, these are seriously strict standards.
But, and this is what's really fascinating, not every single product has to go through this whole grueling battle. Some products are just naturally so hostile to microbial life that they get a free pass.
This hall pass list includes a few key types. You've got products with super high alcohol content, like perfume. They're naturally self-preserving. Then there are products with no water at all, like a body oil. Microbes have nothing to live on. Formulations that are extremely acidic or alkaline are also just impossible places for microbes to live. And finally,
Things like lipsticks are filled at super high temperatures, which basically sterilizes them from the get-go. All of these are considered low risk by their very design.
So the next time you use your favorite face cream or lotion, just remember the preservative efficacy test. It's this rigorous, totally unseen science that acts like an invisible shield, making sure that the product that was safe on day 1 is still safe on day 30 and way beyond.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? This is just one of the countless invisible safety checks that are happening all around us. What other hidden science is out there quietly working to keep the products you use every single day safe?